Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews and to another reading vlog here on the channel. I'm Judith. Welcome if you've not been here before. You are watching reading vlog number 15 of 2021. How exciting. I tried to fit too many words into that sentence. Hi, yes, it is Bank Holiday Monday. It is the 5th of April? Something like that. And I'm getting ready for a week of holiday, which is very nice. Most of what I want to do is carrying on with my clearing out that I started last week. I did promise that. I do have some reading I want to get done. I have a lot of filming I need to do and basically a lot of things that if I don't do them, I think I'm going to be a whiny, miserable git and be like, oh, I didn't do anything with my holiday. But I also have a sewing project I kind of want to finish. Basically, I've overstretched myself and let's take a moment. Yes, no. While I'm here on camera, let's take a moment and just say, later in the week, Judith editing this, did you have a nice week? If you did, success. Don't worry about it. You didn't film all the Animorphs videos? You bought yourself some time. That's what I'm about. Right, reading updates, life update, and then I'm gonna get started on clearing out my big shelfie thing. I finished Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardina Evaristo. I really enjoyed this. This is a more literary fiction book than I would typically read, but it is 12 different women and they come in kind of batches of 4, batches of 3 even. So you get like 3 women and quite often it'll be a connection between the 3 of them. So the first one you get like the mother, the daughter, and then the friend of the mother. So you'll quite often get a reference to the person in the next one and it all kind of interlinks together in a kind of, the best way I can describe this is like Love Actually, in the sense that it all ties together and you realise that people know each other. But I don't want to compare it to Love Actually because that's a really weird comparison, but it makes sense to me. Interwoven, all interlinked. It's very, very good. It's really well written. It felt incredibly real, and that's obviously, I read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy. I don't read a lot of stuff set in the real world, but I more mean in terms of just the nuance that these characters have and the way this book doesn't paint anyone as, you know, this is the good way to think and this is the bad way to think. It's a lot of like seeing other people's perspectives on the same thing, and yeah, I really thought this was very good. Obviously not what I typically read, but I would definitely recommend it if it's the kind of thing that you might be interested in, and I can see why it won the Booker Prize. Yes, Girl, Woman, Other, definitely read it, very good. Gonna lend it to my mum. And then tonal shift. This morning I finished S.T. Gibson's Dowry of Blood. This is the lyrical Brides of Dracula kind of book. And I thought this was very well written, actually. It maybe edges a little bit too flowery at times, so depending on your preference for flowery prose, bear that in mind. What I will say is that this is essentially a just shy of 250-page book about a abusive relationship, and it just so happens that they are vampires, you know. I mean, we've read abusive relationships with vampires before, haven't we? No, I think this is well handled in terms of that discussion, partly because of where the character who is narrating the book is coming from. Oddly realistic as a kind of, it's not apologetic, it's not kind of misery, it's not a misery fest, but it's just a really interesting take on that kind of story. I don't know if I run around being like, everyone has to read this immediately, because I think you need to be in the right mood, you need to be a person who isn't affected by that kind of thing. It's not like Winter's Orbit, which deals with abuse, but it's quite a, broadly speaking, quite a wholesome book. This is not super wholesome. But I think if this book really interested you and you went in knowing that it was going to be about an abusive relationship, I think that you would probably have as good a time as I think I had. It's really hard to describe goodness, but I think it's a engaging read. There you go. That's a good adjective. There we go. Yeah, life update. It's a mini one. It's not, you know, stupidly exciting. But I have started a Discord. I will endeavour to link it in the description, I think, if I remember. Yeah, it's just a nice place. Basically, I wanted to be able to post all of like my behind the scenes stuff and let you know what's going on and tell you about what I'm reading. And the obvious place to do that is Twitter, but I really hate going on Twitter at the moment. It just saps my mental health like a vampire does. It's just like sucks all the energy out of me and I'm a lifeless, sad husk all day. So I've decided to create my own space where also you can come and chat too and engage. I'm going to completely admit that a lot of this is because Angela's one is so lovely and a really good source of joy. So also join Angela's. You know, you're joining one Discord, you may as well join the other. It's been very chill so far. And yeah, come join us. It is in the description. On to the day. I'm going to make a coffee because I haven't had one yet. And then I'm going to get to work on, I'm not going to show you it, but my big squares unit. I am a big believer in the pull everything out and then put everything back method of tidying, which is a stressful method of tidying because it does mean that everything gets much worse before it gets better. But I think it's going to be okay. I've been through it reasonably recently. It shouldn't be too taxing. But coffee first. And then if I get to reading today, I will probably... Ooh, do I want to pick up a review copy? Oh, difficulties. Skinful of Shadows by Frances Hardinge. Just take a moment and take in the gloriousness of the Spot UV gloss on this hardback. It's so exciting. Just because I like the kind of journey of going from vampires to ghosts. It pleases me. First coffee, then tidying. I've got it together. Be excited for the week. Welcome. Hi, welcome to the floor. This feels like old times. If I were doing this with my phone propped up on a pile of books, it would be like the original times on this channel. It's Tuesday. I think it's my first proper day of holiday where not everyone else is on holiday. I've been doing some sewing yesterday. I'm not 100% happy with it, so I'm pretending it's a mock-up and that I can just redo it. And that's helping me a lot. I have also been going through my wardrobe. It's like entirely split between exciting and traumatic. Traumatic because my wardrobe is the place where old projects go to die. And it's sort of like confronting all those times you had really good meaning, really good intentions. Like, oh yes, I did buy all this wool with the intent of knitting a cardigan. Never did that. All of this wool is still in bundles. That's fun. So I've done a lot of clearing out, a lot of accepting that I will never in fact do those projects. I've kept one. I've kept the wool for a cardigan that I bought ages and ages ago that I might try. Basically just so that if I get the itch to knit a cardigan, I can have something that I already have. That's basically the reasoning. And it's a thrilling adventure because I have gone through... Oh, I'll show you. This is my memory box, and it's actually, I think I bought like one of those sweets hampers ages and ages ago, like years, and I've been keeping bits and bobs in it ever since. And I tend to go through it every time I move it to somewhere else because sometimes in life you hang on to things that remind you of bad stuff, and you realise that actually holding on to that birthday card from your ex-boyfriend when you were 15 might not be helping you that much. So I've picked out some choice fun things to show you. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Not all of this was in the box, but I'm going to try and get it all in afterwards. First of all, I have my mortarboard from when I graduated. If you want to see the full graduating look, I will put that up here. Wild. Had to wear fur on the hottest day of the year. Ridiculous. It's not real fur, I should say. I have my brownie guy bat sash. My brownie, like, I was so small, this fit across the whole of me. As you can see, I don't have very many badges because I wasn't very good at being in the brownies. A whole bunch of boring badges that everyone has. That looks like it might be the weather badge. And then they switched branding halfway through. So I have the world guiding badge and the collector badge. And then I just have a bunch of stuff that's like... everyone got it. But yeah, I love this. I think it's just cute. I was in the Imps. I think that was the Imps. And I was a second. I don't 100% remember the meaning of those things, but I have kept it because it is a treasured possession. I have a couple of other possession-y bits, and then we'll go through some of the more papery bits. I have kept my Blue Peter badge in case I want to get into the Salvatore Dali exhibition for free. Was entirely the only time I used this badge. And also, this is mostly because I remember talking about this. This goes with, can I get it out? The Secret of the Sirens. And I can't remember when I talked about this, so if you remember this, you have been watching this channel for a while. So I talked about how if you read this book, at the back it has like a join the society. I think, does it still have it? I don't think it does. But it used to have a thing where it was like, come join the... Yes, no, I found it. Members sought for the Companions Club, and you could join, and you get sent a club badge to mark you out as a companion to your mythical creature, and I was a companion to the Pegasi, I think. So I got a badge, and I've kept it because I'm a grown-up who wants to be a companion to the Pegasi. That's that. I'm still going to keep that. Love it. I've kept loads of... In fact, I think I've kept all of them since I've kind of thought, oh, I should probably keep these. My grandmother hand paints birthday cards every year. There's some Dreaming Spires. This is a Greek vase that has my name on it. Cute. This one I think was for my... What birthday would this have been? This was my 21st. And it concertinas out with all the things that I was interested in whenever I was 21. So we have me doing some Shakespeare. We have me knitting, probably knitting that cardigan that I never did. some Oxford. Oh, I think this is me doing archaeology. Oh, there we go. I've got a cup and some bones and some columns. That's because I used to dye my hair all kinds of fun colours. And that's my family and my dog. Like, oh, treasured possessions. A slight tonal shift. This is the most horrifying passport photo I've ever had taken. There she is. I think I got this taken the day after term ended, and I look like I'm actually dying. 2015, yeah, not a good year for me. I'm not going to show you this because it has my old address on it, but acceptance letter from university, nice. This is our prom invitation, because our prom was Oscars themed. That's like the one thing slightly irrelevant to the ex-boyfriend that I have kept, because it was a nice night regardless. A couple more bits and pieces. This, which is my dig diary from the first year I went to an archaeology project, and I mainly kept this so you can see spoon enlargement ×2, where we learned how to enlarge drawings of spoons. It amuses me, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of stuff in here where I'm just like, I hate this. I had a really good time, but the lectures really bored me, because I've not got a very good attention span. This is more of a kind of scrapbook of things, and the thing that made me laugh is in here there's something like, I can't remember where it is now, but it goes like, birthday card from Jess, and I've saved it, and I don't know who Jess is. Are you Jess? Thank you so much for your support. And then lastly, I have this wee little photo album. This wasn't actually in the box, but is going to go in there. And it has a bunch of old photographs that I've kept, and I think I want to just show you my favourites. Here is me. This is my brother. As you can see, I've clearly eaten my ice cream. Arthur has not. Here in this second image, in this triptych, I have seen the ice cream. I want the ice cream. Arthur is oblivious. And lo, she pounces. They're my favourite photos of me and my brother. Honestly, I would frame them, but that would be a bit weird to frame photos of yourself as a child. That's my memory box. I just thought that would be a fun vlog segment. I think I'm going to need to buy a bigger box. I had a really good reading day yesterday, actually. I finished a whole bunch of stuff. We did productivity/reading sprints over on the Space Sirens channel. Which I think is still up if you want to see me replace myself with David Tennant at one point. I finished Skinful of Shadows, much enjoyed. I hadn't read it for a while, so it was kind of like reading it completely new, and it's just really well written. It's a really good story set against the English Civil War, and yeah, it's a good main character, it's an interesting plot, it's spooky, it's good. And then I am 30% of the way through Victory's Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders, which so far I really want to love it, and I think I'm probably giving it too much benefit of the doubt, but there's been quite a lot of things that have just sort of happened and been explained away, and it feels like it's an excuse to get to the plot, which is fine, but then get to the plot, I guess? I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, and I'm going to be sad if I don't, because I really want to like this book. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed this memory segment. I don't know if it's going to come into anything. I might edit it in, I might leave it out, who knows? Now I've done the wardrobe, that was my big job for today. I'm going to probably just relax, to be honest. I thought that would take me a whole day, and it didn't, so I think because I just got too brutal. So I shall see you either tomorrow or Thursday. Hello, happy Thursday. It is Thursday morning. I'd say it's bright and early, but it's really not. I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning. Better? Probably. Yeah, I skipped a day yesterday because yesterday I was feeling a bit rubbish all day. Just updates on reading. I have read a few things since last time we spoke. I can't remember if I'd started Victory's Greater Than Death yet, but I had. So I have finished that. And I thought, after the first 40% or so, when it just gets into the plot and you can kind of ignore the fact that it's info dumped, it's sort of almost info dumped. It sort of looks at info dumping and then veers around it and just sort of like info explains away. So basically the main character has to get a lot of information very quickly, and I didn't love the way that was got round. I understood it as part of the plot, but it wasn't my favourite. But anyway, once that was in the past and we got to kind of 40% of the way in and the characters were set and they were just sort of getting on with things, I ignored the fact that I wasn't 100% happy with how they got there and just enjoyed the ride. And I think that the book as a whole is pretty good. I wouldn't rush out and recommend it to everyone, but it's better than some other YA sci-fi I've read. And yeah, that was my feelings on that one. And then I finished The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, which right off the bat, it was dedicated to Sarah J Maas, and within the first like 10 pages, she described her own hair, as in the character, as black as night. And I was like, I'm in for something pretty good here. As much as I want to say, like, this is a silly, fun YA time, and she does elemental trials, and that's always fun, and, you know, love interests up the wazoo, it's still very, very violent, and there is a lot of general threat of sexual assault throughout the book, which I think is to be expected. It is set in a very terrible prison, but it's a little bit of kind of like a clash of ideas where I'm like, silly trial and love interest and, you know, revolution, how fun, ish, and this is really horrifying, and let's, you know, really explore the, you know, prison guard dynamic and the weird power imbalance there, and, you know, it was an odd book to read, and I don't want to say like, this is silly fun and enjoy it, but equally it's not, this is really serious and important. It's sort of somewhere in the spectrum of things there. I will say, I either really loved the ending and it's made me want to read the second one, or I think the ending is proof to me that I will not like the second one, because I'm not going to tell you what the ending is, but it's one of those endings where you know the second book is going to be very different from the first, because there's really no way it can be identical unless something very strange happens. So either the second book will build off the ideas of the first book and be really good and, like, you know, put everything in a whole new look, or you'll just miss what you liked about the first book. And we won't know until presumably next year at the earliest, when the next book comes out. But yeah, I think I gave that like 3.5 stars-ish. Pretty good, but, you know, not raving about it across the hills, because I live in a very flat part of the country. And then I have also read one chapter of Network Effect by Martha Wells, but I haven't read enough of that to comment on it, really. Today, though, is not really a reading day. Today is a filming day, because I have just decided to suck it up and film 2 Animorphs videos today and have them done. Not done and edited. I think I'll probably try and edit one of them later today, depending on how long it takes me to film them, because they do take about an hour to film a piece. So yeah, they take 3 times as long to film as they actually are. I'll see you next time I see you. I put on eyeliner this morning for a thing I was doing, and I look like I'm actually having a breakdown because the way my glasses make my eyes tiny. It's fine. Hi, happy Friday. I don't have a huge amount to report, alas. I am about 100 pages into Murderbot. Network Effect. That's the what it's called. That's the what it's called. Just doing well. So yeah, that's happening. I'm still very much enjoying it. I need to finish it this evening, really, but I don't know if I'm going to, because I want to do some more editing. I'm in a bit of a weird mood. Not as much of a weird mood as I was in earlier in the week, but still a little bit odd. I think I'm just grumpy. You know, you're just grumpy. Everything annoys you. All people, even the people you love. Yeah, I'm ready to maybe curl up in a bunch of blankets and read about an angry security unit for a bit. Might be the release that I need. I've been pondering next week. I think next week is going to be Black Iron Legacy week. So if you're excited about that, you'll have to subscribe. This was mostly just so I would have checked in. And I know that I did 2 really long segments at the start of this week. So farewell. Hello, happy Saturday. I had to think about that one. Yes, end of the vlog. Hi. Hope you've had a nice week. I'm going to reflect on my week in just a moment. I have read 213 pages of Network Effect by Martha Wells. I am really enjoying it, actually. I think what I've realised with Murderbot is that you get a lot of detail because that's the way that the main character works. And maybe you don't need all of that detail. Like, when it's a fight scene, you don't need to necessarily remember where everyone is at any one time. And I think I just need to give myself a little bit of, like, license to skim certain segments. And once I did that, I really started to enjoy it. So yes, very funny, very emotional, some nice callbacks to earlier moments in the series. I'm very much enjoying it. So I'm hoping to finish that later today, this evening kind of time, because then I want to start Fugitive Telemetry. So I'm hoping I can kind of box out the weekend with those, because Fugitive Telemetry is only a novella, so it should be fine, I think. I haven't actually checked. I'm assuming it is. And since we're out tomorrow, that would be nice to do. And then I'm going to kick off the gutter prayer for next week's vlog, so that should be nice and fun. Despite my own brain being my worst enemy, which is not news. If you've been watching these vlogs for a year now, I think I took a holiday around about the same time last year and had the exact same problem. I'm just not very good at taking a holiday where I'm at home, because I feel like I should be doing things. But I watched back the vlog footage because I edited it, and not only did I give myself a wonderful, helpful pep talk right at the beginning of the vlog, but also I saw all the stuff I did. I cleared out a whole bunch of stuff. I did a sewing project. It didn't go well, but I learned how not to do it next time, and I'm going to try again as soon as this vlog is done. yeah, and I guess gave myself a bit of a rest, and I read a lot of books. Like, it's all fine. Have I already started to have anxious thoughts about going back to work next week? Yes. Yes, I have. That's just how I am as a person. Some things you have to accept and move on from. All in all, I've had a very nice holiday. 10 out of 10. Would do again. Because to accept anything less is to assume that I've wasted my holiday, and I don't want to do that. What have you been reading? Have any of these things been on your TBR in terms of new releases? Are you planning on pre-ordering or buying any of them? I'd be very interested to know. If you haven't already, please do subscribe because it makes me feel loved and appreciated. Follow me on my social media. Come join me on Discord. It's a good time. I'm probably going to post the thumbnail for this before this video goes up. Ooh, such exciting exclusive content. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. So yeah, as I say, I'm planning on... Oh, life update. No, that's what I said I would do next. Hi. Ooh, hi. Ooh. Some things in very life are hard. It's fine. My chin muscles are hurting. Why are you doing this? And I will see you in the next one. Ow! Oh, that wasn't good. I have bad wrists. Oh no.